Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're gonna be reacting to a clip from the Whatever podcast with Andrew Wilson debating a they/them feminist on the benefits of feminism. Now I'm excited to see how this will go, so let's get started.
So feminism has switched women from duty to materialism.
Can you explain what you mean by that first?
Yeah, I can't think of a single. When you talk about egalitarianism being, so let's start with this, I guess. Are rights real?
Real in what sense?
Do they materially exist anywhere? Or are they concepts of the mind?
Yeah, rights are concepts of the mind.
Yeah, so they don't actually exist, right?
No, something that's a concept still exists.
Where?
Yeah, like feelings exist, thoughts exist.
Where?
They exist within the mind. You just said that.
Yeah, where's that?
In the mind?
Where is that, though?
In brains?
So the brain exists inside the mind?
The mind is constituted of the brain.
The brain is the mind, then?
That might be a semantic thing, but I'm fine with saying however you want to parse out those terms, that yes, concepts come from minds. Minds either are or come from brains.
Okay, so, is the mind the brain?
Look, that's a complex question I don't have the answer to.
I don't either. So I just want to make sure that I understand where concepts exist.
I mean, look, if you just want to say the brain just for simplicity, that's fine. I'm not sure. Like, are you like well versed on philosophy of mind or something? Is that like?
I'm not trying to move you into philosophy of mind. I'm just trying to ask you about rights being a concept. Because when I say that they're not real, you say they are real because concepts are real.
Right.
But I don't understand how concepts themselves are real.
Yeah, they're real as in they're, things that are from the mind.
Okay, so...
Like thoughts, you wouldn't say a thought is not a real thing. A thought is a real thing.
Well, when you say objective or subjective, what do you mean by objective or subjective?
I didn't use those words, but usually in philosophy, objective means mind independent, and subjective means mind dependent.
All right, guys, to be frank, I have no clue what they're arguing or talking about right now. I haven't seen before this clip, so I just got right into it with you guys. So I don't know what was before this conversation right here. So far, I'm not really following up what this has to do much with feminism right now, but yeah, I'm sure they're gonna start talking about the feminism soon. That's the title of this entire clip. So let's keep watching a little bit more, and I'm sure Andrew will get into it. I'm sure there will be a point here that they're trying to make, either from a previous discussion, or he's trying to make a point right now. So let's keep watching a little bit, and let's see how it goes.
Okay, right. So concepts, then, they're dependent on a mind?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so they don't exist absent a mind?
They don't exist absence of minds? No.
Okay, so if all human beings were gone, rights would not exist because the concepts would be gone, right?
Well, I didn't say human minds. There could be, some alien, the xenomorphs or whatever, come down and they have their own concepts of rights. Then, yeah, I mean, that's still a mind. They have rights, etc.
Yeah, no, sure. If there was aliens, they okay.
Just to clarify, it's not just human minds. It is just, minds that can conceptualize of rights.
Whatever those minds are.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So when we're talking about rights, though, they don't exist in any sort of material reality.
That question hinges upon the, is the mind the brain or not?
You can't taste them, touch them, smell them, see them, that kind of thing.
Sure. No, of course not.
Yeah. Okay, got it. So rights, for all intents and purposes, are just things that we make up.
Sure. That doesn't make them any less real.
Well, I guess we're going to have to clear this up again then. Real how? Is a unicorn real?
Well, as a fictional concept, yeah.
As a concept, it's real.
As a fiction, just to be clear. There's a way that fiction is used in a technical sense. I'm not super familiar with it, but you can point to things that are fiction and things that aren't fiction. So it would be like, well, maybe Spider-Man is real in a sense, but he's real in a fictional way. He's still real, right? There's still a book. There's still movies about him. There's still actors that play him. In a sense, there is...
Well, he's real in your mind.
Spider-Man, right? Well, there are material things tied to Spider-Man, right? But there is a real concept of Spider-Man. He's just real in a fictional sense.
Got it. So then for you, rights actually do exist as more than... They're not... When you say concept, you actually believe concepts are real in some sense.
All right, so I think I understand where he's trying to go with this. He's basically trying to say that rights are something that we just made up, but it's not actually real, right? Just like how he mentioned unicorn is something that we made up, but it's not actually real. I think that's where he's trying to go with this one. I'm not entirely sure, but I think soon he's going to explain it better. He's just trying to lay the baseline here and understand what she actually believes. So yeah, let's see what she says with that. But I think that's what he's trying to say here. So she keeps saying it's real as concepts. I'm not sure what she means by that, but yeah, we'll see how this turns out. I think, like I said before, I think what he's trying to do here is make her, or at least try to find some kind of understanding of what she thinks, what she means by real, when she says it's real as concepts, like she keeps saying. So I think that's what he's trying to go with here.
I think they're real in a mind-dependent way.
Mind-dependent.
When you say, so I think what you're doing here, and you can correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm making sure we just don't equivocate.
That, yeah, but it seems like what you are doing might be a little bit of that. But it might seem like you're saying something is only real if and only if it's material. Do you believe that or no?
I don't. No.
Okay.
I'm just making sure that we get the view clear.
Sure,
that
yeah.
we're
So there can be
talking
real
about,
things, even if we don't have a specific definition, there can be real things that aren't material.
Yeah, concepts.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, got it. So rights are a concept.
Yeah, they are a concept, but they are real. But in the sense that non-material, real
concepts,
things.
in the sense that concepts are real.
Right, just like your feelings are real, just like your thoughts, your dreams are real.
Got it. And concepts are changeable, right? Just like rights.
The concepts themselves, yeah, the way that people think of things, yeah. Those things can change, sure.
Okay. So we've established that rights are just concepts. Concepts can be real. I'll just agree in that sense because, again, it doesn't really matter, I guess, in this particular confine. So when I say duty you would have to exist, or you'd have to admit is also real then as a concept.
What do you mean by duty?
Obligations that you have absent entitlements. And I would classify rights as being entitlements you have absent obligations.
So you said a duty is an obligation absent an entitlement?
Yeah.
And then you said that, what was the second?
That for a right, it would be an entitlement absent a duty.
I think this was a great question here from Andrew, because if she believes that rights and all of these are real as concepts, as she keeps saying, then that would also mean that she thinks that duties and obligations must be real as well, right? So I think I have a feeling what he's gonna do with this. I think he's gonna go into the duties and obligations that he believes that we have as humans, as men and women, and she'll probably disagree with them, since most feminists disagree with the viewpoints of Andrew Wilson, right? So I think that's what he's trying to do here. He's gonna say, okay, well, if those are real, then also duties and obligations should be real, but they're not really doing that, most feminists, right? So yeah, I think that's what he's trying to do here. I might be wrong, but let's keep watching and find out.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't actually see any duties women have in modernity. None. Like no actual duties.
Duties to what?
Anything.
You don't, like in a moral sense or?
No, in any sense. So I see a lot of entitlements, rights, entitlements absent duties. So you have the right to vote, no duty to vote, right to own a gun, no duty to own a gun, right? You have the right to not incriminate yourself, but no duty to incriminate yourself or not to incriminate yourself, right? Every one of these rights is an entitlement. There's no duty which comes along with it. So I think that in a time before feminism, let's say, especially the 1900s, that instead of women and men in this case moving towards a materialistic outlook, they focused a lot more on duties instead of entitlements themselves. And I think that has been very bad for society, the focus on materialism from feminism.
Okay, maybe just to get more clear on that term duty, being an obligation absent entitlement. What you're saying is that, somebody should act or needs to act, right, without being given anything to act?
No, they could be given orders to act. That could be considered a duty.
That's not what I'm saying. Okay, maybe there was some miscommunication there, but something that you should do whether or not you're rewarded for it or something like that. Is that something like what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So something...
Some obligation to do, some obligation absent entitlement to perform X action.
Okay.
Now, that's not a perfect definition, but I think it's a workable one for the purpose of the conversation.
Yeah, so it seems like he was going to what I was thinking as well. Now, what he's basically trying to say here is that since she believes that rights and all of these are true, then she must also believe that duties and obligations are true. But when you look at it, there's no really obligation or duties that the feminists believe that women should have. So that's basically what he's trying to show her here. Let's see how she answers back to this one. I'm kind of excited to see what her answer will be. I think he made a great point here, because now it's kind of like not a trap question, but she's kind of trapped on how to answer this, because there's not really a good answer if you view it from a feminist side that she can give him here. So let's see how she responds.
Okay, so you think that, women don't have any duties, but they do have...
But I think men do. I think men have duties.
Can we get clear on if you're making a descriptive claim or if you're making some sort of prescriptive claim?
Descriptive.
Descriptive? Okay, so you think that men have duties and women don't?
Yes.
And that you think that women have rights and men don't have rights, or they do?
I think that women have more rights than men do. So this would come down to my argument for conscription. It's very simple. Men have a duty and obligation to sign up for the draft. Women have no such obligation or duty to do so, but women can still vote to send men to wars and then not fight in them because they can't be drafted. So I would consider that to be an extra right that women have that men do not have, because they are they actually have to sign up and be conscripted during wartime.
Okay, sure.
And absent wartime.
Okay, so this is argument feminism bad because men have to go to the draft and women don't, and they both get the right to vote?
No, this is an argument for materialism. I'm just expressing that when we moved away from a duty-based society for women, I can't think of any actual obligations that women have as far as duties to society, but I can think of actual obligations that men do have still as a duty to society. And so it seems that women themselves actually have more rights in modern society than men do. And also, right, that a lot of this movement towards the idea of more additional rights comes from materialism itself. Everything seems to staunchly revolve around I want, me, I want, because it feels good.
Okay, so what he says here makes a lot of sense. He's basically saying that since there are no real duties that he can think of that women have in today's society, but there are duties that men have to do, then obviously there's more rights for women than for men. So it doesn't really make sense how a feminist thinks they're being oppressed and they have less rights than men, when clearly, if you follow his logic, then the women have more rights. And also what he says, that it doesn't make sense that they're able to vote and send people to war, but it doesn't really concern them themselves because they don't have to go do it. So they can basically vote someone in, and others will be sent to war and fight for them, but they don't have any skin in the game themselves. But that's just how it is.
Okay, sure. I'm not sure. Maybe we could get more clear on materialism there. I'm not for the draft. I am for people voting. I think people should vote. So if you're making descriptive claims about okay, well, you think that this move towards materialism, and I'm thinking maybe you're talking about Marxist materialism, or do you mean something totally, do you mean materialism in a totally different field? Yeah,
in this case, very simple, right? I'm just using materialism in the sense of stuff in the replacement for something that is not stuff. For instance, if we're talking about concepts of God, of country, of nation, of state, things like that, which could be fulfilling, and materialism would be the idea that stuff can be fulfilling, actual material goods, things like this can be a form of fulfillment.
Okay, so materialism, from what you're defining, is that material goods can be fulfilling.
Yeah.
Okay, this has to do what with feminism?
that what feminism has done is move women more towards materialism than duties. Duties would be this idea of the conceptualization of I ought to do things outside of because it feels good, whereas materialism is I'm going to get this stuff because it feels good.
Right. I mean, I can think that people should do things because I think it would have good outcomes for them. Like, I think that people should vote because I think that that helps them pursue their political goals more. And I think that people enjoy freedom. I think that's good for people's well-being, is to have personal freedoms.
Doesn't seem to be. It seems to be that limiting people's personal freedoms is pretty good for their well-being.
Well, it seems, okay, well, in some senses you would agree with that. In some senses you wouldn't, I assume.
Yeah, in some.
All right, so this is the last part of the clip. Now, I don't think she's fully understanding what he's trying to say here. Basically, what he's trying to tell her is that these days, modern women, especially feminists, have moved more towards materialism, which is basically that they are only doing stuff for themselves. So they have left duties behind and they only do stuff if they get something in return, right? So it's really hurting society. And that's why there's a lot of these women, they're like 35, 40, no kids. They're miserable, a lot of them. You can even see statistics. The most happy group demographic of people are married women with children. But a lot of these feminists, they're not really getting children. They think money is more important. They don't want a family, just a career is more important. And I think it's hurting a lot of women if they're being brainwashed like this since young age. But that's the end of the clip, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribe, as it helps me out a ton. Thank you so much for watching.